So thank you everybody for jumping on, and this is for everyone who is catching the recording because I messed up on the time. This call was set for 8 instead of our regular 8:30, and it wasn't until 8:01 that I thought, oh my God, I need to get out to my office. So this is going to be kind of a quick rundown. We are literally at the end of the month, which means we are 1 month away to starting a brand new year. This year has been absolutely incredible for myself. Regrowing my relationships and refinding my why and just getting everything back on track. And it's been a year of a major comeback and a comeback for so many other people as well. And we have bonded and connected so intensely, I think, this year, more so than even my first year as a coach. And we've made a lot of huge progress. And although we all kind of move at our own pace and have our own things going on, we have definitely grown at a fast pace together. And I'm seeing new leaders emerge, and I'm loving what's going on. And now is not the time to take the foot off the pedal. We have shared several times, Melissa Galmay and I, that we were going for a lead. There's been times where it's been hard. I took my foot off the gas over the summer, but I am committed to keep going. Even if I don't hit it, I know that every bit of work that I do is just going to be setting us up together as a team in 2017. Same thing with that being said, on reaching goals at the end of the month. I see so many coaches that over the years that on, the 25th, 26th, they have maybe 2 success club points or maybe none. And so they just give up and they decide to wait till the next month. And then they're just kind of behind the 8 ball because then they have just cruised and taken their foot off the gas at the last few days of the month when they think they're not going to hit it. And I have seen over and over and over and over again, and I use Melissa Bartow as an example. When we were first coaches, she hit Success Club that August of 2012. July. She actually was at a baseball game, all sorts of crazy stuff, but she made it happen. So I know it can happen. It's not necessarily the funnest thing to do to wait to the last minute, but it can happen, and it's happened over and over and over and over again. It just is a choice. All of these things are just choices. So go out, and today I sent out like 30 invites with people that had expressed interest about Core to Course, expressed interest over the course of the year, and I even sent out invites to people who had started their journey with me over the course of the last couple of years and asked them to restart with me so that they can have a fresh start. And I'm really going to be focusing on, the things that we learned at Tony Robbins to really help people get their mindset, because one thing we learned is that it's 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. And there's something I posted in the Relentless Squad group today that, it doesn't matter all these things that you do. You have to believe that you can do this, because whether you believe you can be successful or not literally determines everything. You can know a lot of people, you can be great at sales, you could have worked in health and fitness, but if you don't do the vital behaviors and the things that successful coaches do, you'll never be successful. And so many people get stopped at the start line because they think that I can't be successful, so they don't even bother trying. There's people who don't show up on calls, they don't get on national wake-up calls, they don't participate in groups, they don't go to live events, they do nothing because they've already told themselves they're not going to succeed. And I believe everyone can succeed if they get their psychology in line. And so I've been working really hard on that. And so that's why I asked for us to kind of meet several weeks after the Tony Robbins event, because so many people don't think that they are worth the money. They don't think they can make the travel. They don't want to spend the money. And this is something I said to Ryan last night, is that most people, it's not that they can't afford this or that, whether it be Tony Robbins, whether it be Shakeology, whether it be personal development, whether it be to get to Super Saturday or Summit, whatever it is. People, it's not that they can't afford it, it's that they can't afford what it is that is being proposed to them and continue their lifestyle. Most of the time, their lifestyle is keeping them at a place that there's a reason why somebody's inviting them to do something. There's a reason why they're inquiring about it, but it's so hard for them to let go of that change. So that's really our job, to help influence people to understand that they are worth it, and they believe that they can do this, and that it's going to be they're going to be successful at it. And so I wanted to share with everyone we shared our takeaways last time, but now I've seen a lot of traction within the group that went with us since then. And I want to share with people that when you go to these events, it's worth the money because of what it can change in your life, and that we all came back and applied stuff, and maybe our life may not be perfect, but good God, we've only been back 3 weeks, so it's going to take take some time. But I've seen some major changes in everybody on personal and business levels. So I'd like you guys to go around and kind of share things that you've noticed have changed. And if you've noticed something that's changed in somebody else in the team, whether they're on the call or not, but they went to the event, please do share, because some of those things may be a big highlight to somebody else. And I do now have 2 tickets that I purchased for our group that's going in March that now are available for $550. So if you're interested or know somebody who's interested, please let me know. Who wants to go first? Go,
I'll go.
Oh, wait, go, Brandon.
Well, I might have to get called away, so I probably should go. I'm probably one of the ones that's actually kind of gone back into my old ways of thinking. And Mindy knows it's a lot to do with the holidays and an anniversary date that's coming up that's kind of in my mind, and it's definitely weighs on me. But, you know, I do know it has helped me, even though I do still think of a lot of the positives that I got from it, and I'm still moving forward on that aspect of it, and I'm definitely going to go again. And I know where my areas of what I need to work on as far as digging deeper into my emotions and whatnot. So that's, you know, something I'm still working on, and it's going to take time. It's not going to be an overnight thing. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Just like everybody else, you know, you got to take action. I know that. And I will eventually get there.
I've seen a huge change in you, Brandon. Like, you've been a big influencer, and, you know, on the calls, something as simple as this is that you've never been the first one to speak up, regardless if you may have to go to work or not. You would just let the clock run out, and if there happened to be time, you'd say something. So I see a big deal with that. The last time we had our one-on-one call, you were already envisioning things positively that could happen and actually setting up and taking action for when that happens. So even though some things are completely out of our hands, when it comes to somebody else's decision, I've already seen that visionary side in you. And, you know, I know Thanksgiving came, and once the holidays come, things, you know, do change, and I do see a little bit of a change since the last time we talked. But I know that because for all of you who are, you know, watching the recording or on that have not that didn't go with us, we have a group message that's going on, and it is like power energy in there. And, you know, Brandon talked about the other day that he was feeling down. I told him, get up, shake his ass, and, you know, let's, you know, focus on this and this and this. And so the thing is, it's not going to be perfect. You know, we're not immune from sadness or depression or
of course not.
collapsing. But when you have this group of people and this awareness, it means that you don't stay where you are at as long, and you don't slide back as far as you had maybe in the past. And that's really all it is. We're not perfect. So I'm proud of you, and I see that. And the fact that you're willing to go again in March and know the importance, to me, that's a big deal, is that you're in it for the long haul to grow yourself. And so I'm very proud of you.
I just want to piggyback on what Mindy said, Brandon. So for those of you that are watching this call later or on the call right now, I did not know Brandon before this. We were lucky enough to spend time together at Summit, and so that was my first one-on-one interaction with him. But he was he was getting ready for the competition, and there was very limited time when you go to Summit. It's like rush everywhere. And so I have gotten to know him, or what I thought I knew of him, through Mindy and through Facebook and the Team Relentless page. But being able to spend time with you there and really getting to know you on more of a personal level and have a conversation with you, and knowing the things that I've seen posted in the past, and even when your mom was sick and you were going through those things, I see a significant change in the person that you are and the influence that you have on our entire group, because you have an influence over me. And I just appreciate your presence, even though it might be a strong, silent one. You are a force on this team, and you are such a huge asset. And I've seen maybe not huge leaps and bound changes as far as like business-wise and, you know, just coming back and going, but that's not who you are. And that's not who you have to be. When the time is right and you're ready to take action with the things that are important for you in your life, you will. And just like you got dressed up that day and you had on your nice outfit, you had a different confidence about you than I've ever seen before. So I just, getting to know you on a friendship level and being able to spend time with you and seeing the growth that you've done, and mostly getting to know you through the computer, and then spending, almost a week with you in San Jose, I see a different person now. I see an encourager, a first one who's ready to offer some support, somebody to tell them that they freaking rock. It's so to say that you haven't come back and you went back into your same ways, I want to say I disagree. You're finding your way for Brandon, because your energy level was never up here, right? So to come back and be like that, that's probably not what people can expect from you. Me, I come back and I was probably already here, and then I'm here and people are like, holy shit, slow down. We totally get you're excited. We totally get you freaking rock, but like, let's take it down like 10 steps. So don't compare yourself to what maybe you think you should have come back and done, because I'm speaking for myself, for somebody who doesn't know you extremely well, and say I see a tremendous change in you.
Thank you.
I saw it when I was there, just from day 1 to 2, and then by the time we left, I mean, I have never seen so many ass-shaking videos or your ass shaking that much. So, and you're like, come on, let's dance. So you're hit a rough spot, and there's some things that when it comes to grief and loss, which we learned a lot about at Tony Robbins, like you're just never going to get away from those feelings. But I know that with all the work you've done with yourself and all the support that you have and the ability that you have to voice those feelings to people, and you know how to verbalize them, that time that you're going to be feeling completely just in full despair is going to be shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And that's not going to mean that you care less or miss your mom less or think of her less, but it just means that it doesn't take so much precedence in your energy. But sure. I just think what you're going through is common, but I see a change in all other aspects, and I'm proud of you. Like it's brought tears to my eyes several times while I was there and since I've been back. So just don't doubt it, because we all can see it. Definitely.
I'm not trying to doubt it too much. I know it's just a 2 millimeter shift.
Yes.
So thank you guys.
All right. Melissa Bartow, you were going to speak up, so you're next.
Okay. So, I think that, since Brandon said like he thought he went back into his old ways, I feel like there's something inside of us that tells us naturally we're afraid of change, right? They talked about this at Tony Robbins too. And I think there's something inside of us that we come home and like that first week we're all crazy pumped all the time. We have our group message going. We've got the crazy alarms going off telling us we freaking rock, and we're having dance parties and all the time. And then after that dies down, there's something that just says, you're done with that. It's over. Your event's over. And your old ways start creeping back in. Old ways of thinking this is silly. What the heck am I doing jumping up and down every hour or whatever? And I've got some of that coming back in. But having done so many things that trying to change my way of thinking with personal development and all those things over the years. Are you okay? I should just flash their eye on the table. Are you all right? Here, can you see Auntie?
Let me see. Look at the eyes.
Is that Calliope?
Yeah, she just whacked her eye right here on the table as she was going to sit down.
Out, does she?
No, I think she's grown out of that now.
She's a little frightening on the call.
I know. She's a little stronger now, so I think she can control it. Anyways, I've had some of that kind of creep in. Like, I'll be honest right now, it's the end of the month. Tomorrow's the 30th, right? I'm sitting at SC3. I have my plan. I'm working on 2 people, but it's always been my MO that I make SC at the end of the month, no matter how hard I try to set my goal at the beginning of the month. I don't know what my problem is, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, no, I'm totally going to make it. Like, it's the end of the year. I'm crushing my goals. I'm sticking to changing the negative thinking. I'm not even, Melissa, I think, wrote in a message the other day that she wasn't letting anything negative like come out of her mouth at all. And I thought, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm hearing from a lot of challengers or people I'm reaching out to, lots of negative, like, don't have time for that right now. And so I'm trying to put a positive spin on everything. And I really attribute that to the things I learned at Tony Robbins. Did he hand me the key to knowing everything and changing my entire life? No, that's not what happens. But the tools that they teach you and the different mindsets and picturing yourself doing certain things versus old things and having that feeling and thinking about that every time, it really truly helps. Just like we say, exercise releases endorphins, which help naturally fight depression. That's science. Like, you can't argue with that. So it's the same concept with a lot of the things that we're doing with positive thinking. And I was telling Robin, I had a call with her yesterday. I was telling her that my brain was fried with everything that's going on in my life. We're trying to sell our house. We just put an offer on a new one, bought a new RV. Tom literally just found out today that he has a 6 millimeter herniation and probably gonna need surgery. And he's transferring to a new office in 4 weeks. So he's like really stressed out. And I was like, I don't feel an ounce of stress. And he actually said that to me today. He said, you're not stressed out like you normally would be over everything. He's like, I see a huge difference in you. Like, it's amazing. And I said, I really just see this all differently now. Since I've come back, and I'm really trying to concentrate on that every day and put my focus in. And I actually haven't been reading my personal development for like the last week, which is really bad, but I don't feel like I've lost anything from that because I'm still like our little UPW group. Every time we have something going on, and I have all the alarms on my phone still going off with like, you know, trying to listen to good music and the play. My kids are like, is it dance party time? Like, Clive uses dance party in the bathtub tonight. And, you know, so it's just showing them. But I think that keeping those endorphins going in a different way has still really helped me this week. So that's my experience.
I've seen, Melissa and I have talked a lot the last couple of days, and, you know, just kind of updating things. And I think that she's been able to understand like some dynamics in her family, which has caused a little bit of, you know, or caused some calm and some peace there. And what I've noticed is I've been in Melissa's team page, and this has been something that we've talked about before, that she was like, well, I don't really post a lot on the team page because they're in, you know, the big Team Relentless team page, and many of them are Diesel Nation, and I'm not getting a response. And I've always said, like, just be consistent, just keep posting it. But some of it did seem redundant. If you're in like 3 groups, then it's all being passed down. But since she started working with our life coach that we have, and then going to hold on, I'm gonna mute you because I have there. Okay. Then going to UPW at the same time. Like, I am seeing her every day posting in her group, great content. You know, her own outing her own words, which I'm sorry to like call you out, but like Melissa's always been like Robin and Brandon, who always were like, would write something and then second guess what they say because they just don't think that their words are right, even though it's super fucking awesome. But I see Melissa, and I mean, I don't know if Melissa's going through and rewriting it a million times before she posts it, but she's posting tons of shit a day, and I just think that she can't possibly have time to read everything, but she's adding her words. And so I see that confidence that her words are her words and she's fine with them. And they were always fine. But now she believes that they're fine. And that goes along with what I said in the beginning of the call, that if you don't think that you're worth it, if you don't think you're going to succeed, even if we all see that potential in people, if they don't see it, they're never going to go. And I've seen this part being unleashed in so many of you guys and going. And I've seen Melissa just take action and being the first one to respond and the first one to post stuff. And I'm seeing, you know, these, you know, forces being strengthened and allies coming from across our team from her being in the 2%ers. I've been seeing you know, I don't know, I've seen where Melissa's been like, oh, well, you know, I kind of see where I need to work on this, and I'm going to work on this, not just, oh, you know, it doesn't exist, or that's just the way I am. And I've seen this, you know, her dancing live on Facebook, you know, just so many things that she would have never done before. And as she said that her husband noticed these things, she's had a great time with her sister there. All of these things that people don't realize is that it all started with health and fitness and lots of social media ups and downs that we've done throughout the years. But look at where it's led us to, is to just really unleashing the person that we were meant to be before life got in the way. And the Unleash the Power is not like Summit. It's not like leadership. It is, you know, just as important, in my opinion, to get to it. But this is really like for life, like not just about your business. And it's been amazing to see the changes that have happened. Robin, did you want to go ahead and share what's went on in your life?
Yes, I want you to be really proud of me that I let 2 people speak before I did. This is big personal growth. But I do also, first I want to say that I have seen major changes in Brandon and in Melissa Bartow. I mean, Melissa Galmay did go from like 10 to 12 on her excitement scale. But Melissa Bartow, you have just like peeled off a shell. Like you were like this little hermit crab, and you were like, oh, this shell's too tight, but I'm just going to stay in here. And then after Tony, you were like, I'm going to find me a bigger shell. And like, okay, Mindy's dying. Like, I don't know why. That's the only one I can see on the screen. Anyways, but Melissa, you have just like blown my mind, and I have seen such a huge change in what you do in our group, what you do on Facebook, just in our personal interactions. It's like amazing to me. And Brandon, come on, guy, come on. Like, you can try to deny it, but I have video proof that you were dancing on day one, and you did not stop dancing until we got home, and you were still dancing. You were always there to pump us up. I feel like I've had the most self-doubt since we've gotten back, and we probably, raise your hand if you have had self-doubt since we got back. Oh, how unique we all are. So special, right? Like, and so every time that pops up, I put it out on my mind, and I think about talking to you guys about it. And because I know this is an amazing support group and this like incredible family that we have built with each other. Like, instead of just stewing in my own like self-doubt, questioning, manic thoughts that I would have had before, I just like put it in the group and be like, hey guys, this is my big dumb problem that I'm having. And it's not that it's a big problem or that it's dumb. It's just like, it's just knowing, like, why didn't I do this before? Why didn't I lean on my team before? And why did I feel like we all were these individual little silos when really we're just like a big group? Just, it's corporate speak that I can't get rid of, Mindy. I'm sorry. It's like 15 years of it is stuck in there. Mindy, you have just, boom, like, crazy exploded amazingness ever since we've been home. Like, you're already an amazing leader, and you've changed so many lives. And I have just seen you go from like a super consistent person that like just makes some solid stuff to boom, like this is top coach, amazing quality stuff that just makes everybody go, whoa, what is this girl on? I want to get on that too. And I'm super inspired by it. Now, for myself, like I said, I still have like those moments of self-doubt where I'm like, what am I doing? Am I doing this right? But then I just hear Tony say, change your state, shake your ass. Even if I don't physically do it, just thinking about it has made a shift. So like kind of piggybacking on what Melissa said about, you know, those things that are in the back of your mind, I think of it kind of the opposite way. Like, we went to Tony Robbins. We had this incredible, powerful, life-changing experience that then planted a seed in our minds, just like we're always planting seeds out there for other people to join what we're doing and to have like the best, healthiest life they can, right? Well, now Tony has planted all those seeds, and my best friend Joe. And they are just like, every time something negative comes across our screen, we're like, whoa, we got to filter that out. Because I have noticed so much more negative talk from other people. Like, I was always pretty good about being like, hey, nah, don't say that about yourself. But for some reason, it's just like a neon blinking sign to me now of like, this person has this belief about themselves, and I need to help them change that belief. I'm not going to do it in like a crazy JP Sears way, but don't you remember that video of the guy who's like, I'll send it to you. It's like kind of a sarcastic take on the UPW thing that we shared in the chat before we went. Do you remember? Anyways, I'll post it in the group. It's hilarious. But one of the things that he says to you is like, don't come home and like Tony Robbins all over people, right? So I'm not going to do it that way, but I'm just going to keep sharing all of the love and happiness and gratitude, because that is still the thing that really is resonating with me so much. Like, I don't know if you have seen all the posts I've been doing, but they mostly have been centered around gratitude, because I didn't have that for years and years and years. I was a victim. I was a martyr. I was the girl whose mom had cancer, the girl whose mom died, the girl who lost her baby. Sad, 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 sad. And one of the things that Tony had said is that, or I think it was Tony, was that we make those kind of personas for ourselves because those are less threatening. You can get people to like you without you threatening their sense of themselves. Like, it's harder for people to like you when you're just happy all the time. And I feel like going to UPW really brought the real me out, and I can let go of all of those things that I thought were going to make me more likable or that I thought would get me attention and connection, because that kind of attention and connection isn't real. It isn't lasting. And just being my more authentic self is, since we've been home, which has just been a short 2 weeks, I can't even believe that. I have seen ripple effects of change go out in my life with my husband, with his family, with my customers. What are you two doing? I'm trying to be real heartfelt right now. With Melissa, with Brandon, with Mindy. I love all you guys. I'm just saying that if you can go to this event, do it, because everybody's getting something different out of it. Even though everyone's hearing the same information, it's going to hit us all in our own way that you need to hear it. And I'm going again in March, and I cannot freaking wait, because I feel like I did not do the Melissa. I did not do the fire walk, and I do regret it, because I totally fell into that belief of like, I was scared and I don't want to get hurt. And that has been the biggest self-sabotaging belief I have had in my life, is I don't want to get hurt. So I'm not even going to try, and I'm not going to talk to that person, or I'm not going to do a thing. So I didn't realize it till after I was back home, but that, that's what came of it. Mindy, I'm going to continue to ramble unless you cut in here.
Let's turn it over to Melissa Galmay, and then I'll go and let everybody return to their lives if they don't have questions afterwards, because we could sit here and talk. We've had like the straight group text going for like 2.5 weeks straight now.
But it's more special to talk to each other like face to face.
I know. Go ahead, Galmay.
So I can definitely echo what Brandon and Melissa have said, as far as in Robin, as far as like coming home and feeling like that first week you're just on fire. Nothing can touch you. You are a bubble of positivity. You are shaking your ass everywhere, and all is right in the world. And then something happens and you're like, oh fuck, how do I handle this? Like, how do I get myself back into that zone? How do I express my gratitude? Because in one side of my brain, I'm going, this is who I'm supposed to be. This is how I overcome it. I'll immerse myself in this. I will put myself in this zone. And then the other side of me is like, fuck this. I'm pissed. I'm angry, and I don't want to deal with it. And I know Mindy's had to kind of walk me through some of these conversations, and I'm still pissed. And I have to go into a conversation this weekend that I don't even want to have at all. None. I literally feel like at this moment in my life, I want to sever ties with this person, because they don't add value to my life. They hurt me. But again, I can't. I have to have this conversation, and not for them, but for me, because I can't stay in this zone of anger and hurt and frustration. And I don't have any control over this person. But what I do have control over is the way that I go into this, and the way that I present myself, and the things that I say in a respectful manner, because I know that it affects my family. But there's also been, hold on, my kids keep coming in here. There's also been big shifts in other areas that have really grown. Like the night we came home from Tony Robbins, my mom was at my aunt's house in Santa Rosa. And for those of you that don't know my background, I did not grow up with my mother. She was a drug addict my entire life. She kicked me out at 11 years old because I told her that her boyfriend was trying to go up my shirt. And we just don't have we've never had a relationship that I would want with my daughter. I never had that. And so I think that was a lot of the scariness of having my own daughter, is not knowing how to parent a daughter, which I know is bullshit too. And Jenna's, you guys know, she's my world. But over the summer, I let her come to our house, and she kind of drove me crazy. And I drank my ass off the entire time, and just to control my nerves. And my mom was at my aunt's house in Santa Rosa. And so instead of going straight home, I stopped at my aunt's. And I don't even know why I wanted to, but I did. I wanted to see her. And it was like, as soon as I got out of the car, her and my aunt were asking me about it. It was like, I just vomited like all these amazing things. And I like literally felt the best I'd ever felt in a conversation with my mom. And then I went down 3 days later, and Jenna and I spent Thursday with her. And then I took my boys out of school early on Friday, and we spent Friday with her. Not once was I irritated. There was moments where it's like I get into this, like, my body almost naturally, on Thursday, it's like my body almost naturally goes into this, like, protection mode where I don't want her to, like, touch me. I just want to, because my mom's a very, very affectionate person. But when you grow up yearning and seeking that, and you never have it, and then have someone when you're 32 years old trying to give it to you, it doesn't feel right. And so I really struggled on Thursday. I was like, oh, like, okay, I'm kind of irritated, like, but not like I normally am. It was just more of an uncomfortableness. And so I recognized that on Thursday, that I was doing that. I was creating that uncomfortableness. I was creating that. And then on Friday, we had like an amazing day. We took the kids, and she took us to the Children's Museum, and we went to lunch. And like her little things that would normally drive me bonkers didn't bother me at all. And I saw her for the person that she was, I think for the first time ever, and just kind of accepted that my mom was young when she had me, and she was a drug addict. And if any of you guys have people who struggle with addiction in your life, you understand that it's a disease, and it's not just like a light switch that you get to turn on and off. And I do, like, reflecting back, like, I do always remember my mom holding my hand and hugging me and telling me that she loved me and all those things. So I just had to get to a place in my life where I realized that my mom did the best she could with what she had. And I think for the first time in my life, I genuinely am okay. Like, I don't have to, nothing's going to rewrite the past. So why am I staying there? Why am I still blaming her for 25 years ago? You know what I mean? Like, I'm suffering. She's suffering. My children aren't having this relationship. And so where I'm going with this, because you guys are probably like, okay, got it. What does this have to do with it? Is Domenico and I were driving on Sunday, and we were talking about the Dominican Republic. And we went back and forth of whether we would bring the kids with us or not. And we honestly want this time because it is the only time when my husband and I really get that one-on-one connection. And it's also going to be my first sober trip, which is really awesome, and I'm looking forward to. But we've been looking forward to that one-on-one connection as husband and wife. But there's always been that stress and anxiety of what are we going to do with the kids? It costs me like $1,000 for a babysitter. It's a lot. And so I was like, I think I want my mom to come to the house. And never, ever, ever, ever has my husband ever been okay with me saying that. Like, he's always had these hesitations, these reservations, because I put them there. And so I text my mom, and I was like, would you be willing to come and stay with my kids? Because my mom lives in Oregon while we're gone. I'd really appreciate you to be at the house with them. And she probably was like the happiest day of her life and said yes. But like, I'm not saying that it was only Tony, but I took a lot away from this event and who I am and what I allow in my life and what I've allowed to take up so much space. Because like Robin, and I'm sure Mindy will say the same thing, we've been victims for so many years. And that is how people have loved us, right? We've shared our sad story. And when we share that, people want to help us and they want to love us. And we get that, what we never got, what we expected from people. But as adults, I can no longer put those expectations on other people. I either have to deal with it and move forward or stay in that same zone of suffering and blaming and sadness. And I don't want to be that person because I'm not a sad person. My life is really, really, really wonderful. And there's amazing things coming. And like Melissa said that I had shared, like, I refuse to say anything negative about my goals for the end of the year because I feel like the moment I say them, I'm sealing my fate. And who the hell am I to make that decision for our team? You know what I mean? Like, it's not just about me. We are all working our asses off to make something happen. And I'm surrounded by some of the most amazing people that I would never, ever had without this opportunity. And so when Robin talks about gratitude, that has literally come out of my mouth. I have this shirt made. It says gratitude. Like I keep thinking of like little signs everywhere I go. I'm like, oh, is there a gratitude sign? Because I totally think that what you focus on and what you surround yourself with, that is seriously what happens in your life. And it's not just, Tony Robbins wasn't just about this business. Like, I feel closer with my husband. I feel closer with my kids, my team, myself. Like, knowing that I can just kind of let go and let God. Like, I've never had a relationship with God, ever. I have always been a faithful person. But, like, even before Tony Robbins, but even more so after, I just am pulled, like, to really understand, one, where it's coming from. Two, I notice that more when I am more just grateful for what I have and the abundance of positivity that surrounds my life. Like, nothing can get me down. Like, I can be in a funk for like a second, but I know how to pull myself out of it. And like Melissa said, even if it's just the alarm going off on my phone, maybe I'm not walking through the grocery store yelling, I freaking rock. But like, I'm still saying it in my head, or we're saying it in the car, or, you know, at the dinner table, whatever. But I don't have to yell that out to know that it's true. Like, it's just, I can go into that state of mind. And if you can get to Tony, like, if you can get to an event, maybe it's not this event and you have to wait until next year, figure out what it is. Start saving $50 a paycheck now, or $5 a paycheck. I don't know what that means for you, but not every single part of that, of Tony Robbins, was for me. Just like any type of event, just like Summit, just like, you know, Super Saturday, not every single part of it's for you. Hey, she's seriously in my office, and I have a boombox because I'm that old school. And she's like putting her legs in between it. Go see Daddy. Go see Dad. Say bye. Bye. Get to it, because you don't know what you're going to take from it. I didn't expect to go there. I had high expectations going to Tony Robbins. I did. I wanted the energy that it was going to give me. I wanted to freaking chant. I wanted to pump my fist. I wanted to feel that. I felt like something was lacking in my life, and I felt like I was going to go there and get that. And I don't even know if I took that from it. But the things that I took away, I didn't have. And if the only thing that I take from it is being able to find peace with my past and comfort and forgiving people, because I feel like before I've been like, okay, I forget my mom, but really I didn't. And I would never have left her home with my kids, ever. She wanted to come here last year, and that was out of the question. Like, me and my sister we stopped talking for like 2 weeks because she was so mad I didn't let my mom come here. But I literally I walked away like, I want that relationship. I want to have her around my kids. And I am just grateful to have a mom in my life, and somebody that I can get to know better, that I haven't known her. I don't know who she is. I don't know what made her do the things that she did. And I think one of my biggest fears my entire life was becoming her. And my stepmom, and Mindy knows, and I shared with Robin and Melissa and Brandon, I've had some pretty shitty stuff come up in my life that I haven't thought about in years. I have drowned with the bottle to not have to feel them. And now I'm not drinking. And so I do feel those feelings and I have to deal with them. So it's not to share because I want anyone to feel sad for me or sorry for me, because it's just the cards that I was dealt. But I know that there's people out there suffering and I can help them find their courage, find their voice, and get over that shit that holds us back, because we are fucking badasses and can do anything that we want. So get to goddamn Tony Robbins if you can get there, because it's seriously for everyone, no matter where you're at in life. And there's a reason why it wasn't just a Beachbody event. It was, you saw people as you looked around the room from all over the world with different struggles, with different ethnicities, with different backgrounds, with different baggage. But like, as you looked around the room, I felt like we were all connected in some sort of way. The same way that Melissa, Brandon, Katrina, Robin, Wendy, we all came back connected. Paulina, Rolly. It's amazing. And if start reading, I'm reading Awaken the Giant Within right now as one of my personal development books. And watch the documentary if you haven't yet. Like, Tony does what Tony does for a reason, and I've seen huge changes in everyone on this call and the ones that aren't on this call. So do yourself a favor.
So you heard from all of them, so now I'm going to close. Just a few little things that, like, I kind of feel, to a degree, a little bit hypocritish. I don't know if that's it, or like I'm just changing my story, but I've been a huge mental illness advocate for since I came out of the institution that I checked myself involuntarily last August. And I have been somebody who's been sympathetic, but never crippling. I mean, I started talking about depression in 2014 when it started hitting me, when I hung out with somebody who was depressed all the time, and really, I realize now, sabotaged anybody around her to make sure that she was surrounded by depressed people who were struggling with their nutrition. And I just stayed that way because I thought that I could fix people. And I realized I picked up old habits. Then I justified it. And I realized that already before I went to Tony Robbins, and then going there, when they reinforced that you begin to speak like your peers, you begin to think like your peers, you begin to operate like your peers. It doesn't matter how much personal development you did before. It doesn't matter what college you graduated from. It doesn't matter what class you live in financially. You can turn to shit if you start hanging out with shit. And I, started to, was still successful in my business, but then I started telling everybody, I hate to work out, but hey, I built a successful business. And then I really started thinking I didn't hate working out ever. I just never worked out. And then when I started to work out, I loved to work out. And then when I started hanging out with these people, I started to hate working out because they hated to work out. And, all these things just kind of hit. But I started talking about depression in 2014, 2015, where it literally brought everybody out of the woodworks. And I recruited almost literally from January to September, every coach that I recruited in 2015 were depressed people that just thought that I was the miracle. That if they signed with me, if they bought a challenge pack, if they let Shakeology sit on their fucking counter every month and stack up, that they would be successful like me. Because that's kind of the message that I was putting out there. You didn't have to work out. You could party hard. You just could be a coach. You could just get on these calls. You could go to events and success happened. But that's not how success happened. Success in 2012 and 2013 looked a lot different. And then I just coasted. And then that really is what led to the demise of my marriage, where we completely separated because of where I was at in an emotional state, because of the people I was hanging out with, because of the decisions I was making, because I was not mentally where I needed to be, because I was just drowning myself with liquor and alcohol every day, and thinking that was going to change. And I realized that once I checked myself into a mental institution, got away from everybody, then came out with a diagnosis, with a therapist, with medication, with cutting the ties with these people, I became that advocate. And I will never say that mental illness is not real, because it is. But mental illness is truly a byproduct of things that you've been subjected to. a lot of things that are subconscious that you don't even realize that happened as a child, that formed your blueprint that you live by, formed the identity that you have been living by, that literally started at childhood, that you've been living this identity. And Brandon, I've talked about this before, that he tells a story, and he's told it publicly, that he's always been the shy child. He was a child that hid under tables, that hid behind his mom's leg. That started as a child, but is carried through his life, is that he's been living this identity of that story that he was told and that child that he remembered. I have been living the story of the kid that was adopted, that never felt love, that was beaten, that was endured sexual, mental, emotional abuse, and I have not updated that. For years now, I have not been mentally, emotionally, or physically or sexually abused, but I still have lived by that identity of that person, even though that is not true. It's things that happened to me as a child. And so this really just changed everything. So now, I have become a little bit different. I've pissed some people off because I can tell by their reaction when I talk about it, but I'm not going to change it because I believe this now and because I'm proof of it, that depression is real. But when you talk about depression, when you say you're depressed, when you think that you're depressed, you're going to create people who are depressed that come into your life. You're going to think about it. Everything that you do, that you mess up, every time you feel tired, every time you mess up, it's going to be because of depression. Depression is going to become the person that sits next to you at the dinner table, that sleeps next to you at night, and it's to become your focal point. Whatever you focus on, your energy is going to flow. So I'm not saying you can just wish away, depression or anything like that. But when you start looking at things differently, when you start helping people, when you start focusing on gratitude, when you start looking at things differently, like instead of saying that, oh, anxiety, I've said this for years now, like every Tuesday night I get anxiety, I pop a Xanax. Because I didn't realize that I was just excited. That if you really take all the physical symptoms that happen when you're excited and you compare it to what you call it when you're having a panic attack, it's the same thing. And a lot of times those panic attacks are just a sign of change or something that you're looking forward to or out of this uncertainty. It doesn't always mean bad. It doesn't mean you need to pop a pill. If you're not able to manage your life because you're severely depressed or have anxiety, by all means, talk to a doctor. Get on some things that help you have a normal life. Because I will tell you, the medication that they put me on last August help me get onto this track where I'm at now. Without that, I don't know where I'd be. So I'm not saying that to get off medication without a doctor's order, but get yourself in the right state, get the right things put in place, get your mind right, get surrounded by the right people, know exactly what you want, have your business partners, your friends, whoever it is, know where you need to be so that they can be very clear when they start to see something changing. Because I'm telling you, depression is easy to slip back into. Old ways are easy to slip back into. That's where when you go to this event with a group, people know, you talk about what's going on, you have your aha moments, you call each other out, you know what each person wants, and you're there to say those things that, Brandon said the other day in our group message, and we were all like, Brandon, you're great. Let's get up, shake our ass. Like, there's people there to remind you, because you just stay in your own head, you just get stuck there and you just go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So why I'm saying this about depression is because they talked a lot about this, is that wherever you focus, energy flows. If you talk about, oh, why are all the good men taken? Oh, I always get fucked over by every guy or girl that I talk to. You're going to attract the people that are going to screw you over. If you keep saying, like, why does anybody love me? You're going to reject anybody who loves you. So I see these things. Well, I don't know if it was God. I'm really trying to have a better spiritual, presence or understanding, because I was turned off by religion because of my childhood. So I'm not really sure what it is, but I don't know if it was just a coincidence or the universe or God or somebody. But I left my antidepressants at home when I left for San Jose. There was no turning back. I was terrified at first. And then I remember hearing what had been said, because I had been working with a life coach for about 3 weeks prior. I purchased Creating Lasting Change, where he talks about the 6 human needs, and he went in to talk about depression. So I remember telling Robin and Rolly when we were walking down the street from where we had lunch to where we were staying, said, I'm not going to freak out about this. I'm not going to do it. And I thought, well, maybe I should go and get a prescription called in. And I was like, no, I'm putting it out of my head. I can do this. I'm in the best state. And literally that was the day after the Trump was announced as president. The whole fucking world was falling apart. Every cab driver and Uber driver and Lyft driver showed it was, any news channel, everybody was. And we were in the right place. So I said, I can do it. I am proud to say that despite crappy weather conditions, despite, things about Elite where I'm like, I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna push hard, despite things that might set me back, despite dealing with forgiving my mom, all these different things, you know, the up and down frustrations of life that have been there all along. I haven't taken an antidepressant since we left for Tony Robbins, which I think was like November 8th or 9th, and I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. I have actually, on my own, because while I was there, I took an anxiety pill in the morning, and I took it at night to just kind of shut my mind off, because Jesus Christ, my mind runs, and I couldn't shut it off the first night. So after the second night on at Tony Robbins, I took my anxiety pill at night, and so I kept that same regimen when I got home. And so I went from taking 2 pills at 9 o'clock, 2 pills at 3 o'clock, 2 pills at 9, or 3 pills at 9 o'clock, and a depression pill, to now just 2 pills in the morning and 2 pills at bedtime. To me, that's huge. I haven't wanted to kill anybody. My husband and I have gotten along. I have dealt with him differently. I've dealt with my children differently. I've dealt with stress and anxiety and excitement totally different. And so I'm not saying that I'm going to write off medications or I'm going to be my own doctor, but right now I'm focusing on the right things. I understand where depression and anxiety stems from and how I am in control of those factors. I'm in control of my emotions. I'm applying that 90-second rule that Tony said, that you have the right to be sad, pissed off, disappointed, frustrated, you want to fucking punch somebody. All those things are natural. It means you're alive. It means you care. It means that you have feelings. But you are in control of what happens after 90 seconds. If you decide to do this, and I have been helping people turn around. I've caught them saying, like, well, it's my brother's fault. It's my brother-in-law's fault. And I've helped them turn this around. I literally spent like 5 or 6 hours with somebody the other day who we talked about mega shit that had happened since I had seen her last. And she had not come around me because she knew I'd come back from a happy place and she didn't want to depress me. And lots of shit had happened. And it was work. It took a lot of work, but I asked the right questions over and over and over and over and over again, and changed her perspective, completely changed her thinking on several different areas. And she left my house with a game plan, and I influenced her to put it in place. I spent an hour on the phone with another person I've never met earlier that day, and she has a plan and has put it in place and has been accountable the last 2 days. So it's just 2 days, but I was able to get people out of the depths of despair of where they were at and on track by asking the right questions, by changing their mindset and influencing them, because it is 80% psychology. And I was able to, most of all, realize that I did actually indeed have the power to forgive my mom, and I was able to finally cut that cord from her, because I realized that this growth that I have been doing has been for my team, it's been for my family, it's been for myself, it's been addictive. But I've always thought, if I just fucking change a little bit more, if I just do a little bit more in Beachbody, if I save another fucking life, if I'm recognized by something because I know she stalks my social media, that maybe she'll come and she'll tell me that she's sorry and that she got it all wrong, and that I don't know what I wanted. I don't know what I wanted. Melissa did say when we got back, it said, well, do you think that apology would help? And then I thought, well, actually, I don't know. So I stopped wanting it. I worked with my life coach. I literally did this. It sounds weird. You had to be there and you had to come from Tony, but I physically cut this imaginary cord, and the next day I was able to block her after I listened to this horrendous voicemail that she left me that was just horrible, that usually would have pissed me off, usually would have gotten to me, and she knew exactly what to say because I know she reads my Facebook, and I just said, oh, I'm done. Clip. I blocked her. I don't ever need to hear from her. I'm let it go, and I'm free now. And you know what? My response to that, and share it with my husband, he said, that's good, I'm glad you did. Any other time he'd be like, fuck that bitch, and we would just keep going on and on and on and on. And I noticed that my decision there, he went along with it, and we didn't just stay in that state together. We didn't just build off of one another. And there was a recent thing too where I was talking about my business and plans, and a person I have a problem with and it was going to affect my business, and my husband finally just said, don't worry about it. That person doesn't even exist. You just do you and do this and this and this. And I thought, I have influenced him where he's giving me the right positive advice. And in fact, he's going to unleash the power with me, as well as Haley, my oldest, and Rebel. And lastly, I came, or yesterday before I went to pick the kids up, the Unleash the Power little pamphlet came about what it was about. And was like, come to Los Angeles. And I'm like, shit, I already did that. We're already going. But when I got home, I said, look, Rebel, I'm like, look what Tony said. And he's like, oh, Tony Robbins? I said, yeah. I'm like, I got the tickets. We're going, bud. I'm like, all 4 of us are going. And then he, of course, wanted to know who was going. And I said, Brandon and Robin. Want to know if Melissa Galme and Tom and Melissa were going. And I said, no. But I explained to him who was going. And then he said, oh, that's the guy that told you to take me somewhere where people don't have homes and give them food. And I thought, that right there is fucking exactly why I need to go. Because when I came home, I showed him videos of what the music was like. He remembered that there was a John Denver song that he loves that was played there, remade. But he was like, oh, he's one who sing Mountain Mama or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And I had told him, I'm like, Tony Robbins said that, that we should take our children to a homeless shelter over the holidays and teach them gratitude. And I've been living in this world of gratitude where, like, I don't have bad days. People don't piss me off, where I'm not immune to it, but like nothing gets to me anymore because I'm psyched about my personal development. I'm psyched to talk to people. I'm psyched to help them out. Like, when I see you negative, I'm like, challenge accepted. I'm going to change your way of thinking. But I just told him that small little thing. Literally, it was just one thing. I just said that. And I said that way before Thanksgiving. And he remembered that. And then Sagi posted something about a picture of him and Rebel in May on his Instagram that said, I'm going to leave behind a legacy, not a liability. And I told him also right after that, I said, oh, I'm like, you never guess what Sagi posted. And he was like, oh, he probably just made me a video like Tony Horton did saying hardcore get some. And then I showed him, he's like, oh yeah, Dad told me there was something on Instagram about me. And I just realized right then that is his normal. I see everyone in our team being like, oh my God, Sagi liked it. Cause like Autumn liked that post that Sagi put up there, and I see everybody who's like, oh, all these, stars. And this is my son's normal. And so if Tony Robbins is his normal at 6, if at 17, Tony Robbins is Haley's normal. Emily doesn't want to go. She has ADD, but she agreed to go to this summer camp thingy that is the Robbins Foundation. So she's going to go to that. But if this is my kid's normal, then maybe they won't have to walk through all the fucked upness and the sadness that we had to go through. I saw a post today that said it takes 4 generations to beat the cycle of abuse. Fuck that. I'm going to fucking change it in 2. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to make sure that my kids don't keep paying for what happened to me and that their children and their fucking grandchildren don't. And so that's why I went, and that's why I want you to be there. And I hope that if you can't get there, that it is on your fucking dream board, because big shit has happened. Another person who is from our team is not on the call tonight. She came back, hit Success Club in just a matter of fucking days, and she signed up for a life coach. When you have all of us doing all this power shit, you guys cannot help but pick it up. Follow our lead. Do what we do. We will carry you. We will get you there. But I'm telling you, this is not something that I will ever look back and regret. And to see my children see that this is normal, I just have this hope now where I'm not sad. Like, I'm not worried anymore. I don't give a fuck if Trump's the president, if he gets impeached, if Hillary becomes president, or Michelle Obama, or fucking Bozo the Clown. I am in control of my future, and my kids are going to be just fine. And right there was worth the however much it cost for me to get there. So that's all I have to say. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
I'll just say from a business side, because some of you guys are probably wondering what has changed business-wise. I am a balls to the wall type of person, but I won't lie. Hitting elite this year, which is a personal goal of mine. It does not have to be everyone's goal. And I think people really need to understand that elite is not for everyone, and it doesn't have to be. But for me, it is a personal goal, and it's something that I aspire to do. I was questioning how it was going to happen this year, and even before we even went, Mindy and I were talking about different strategies and how we do this and how I can cancel my husband and move him there. And I messaged her a couple times and like, okay, I'm going to do this way. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to do it this way. And I came back and I just made the decision that I was going to build my husband, because even though I would be sacrificing income and volume and Success Club points, I also noticed that he wants to be included in this business, and knowing how close he is to Diamond, he calls himself the 2-star Elite Emerald. But because he has no idea what it even means for anything, but he is now a coach and 2 emeralds away from Diamond. And if I would have got stuck in my head and sat there and been like, well, it's just probably not in the cards for us, it's not in the bag. And actually, Rachel, she had seen my event that I created on Facebook, because I got home from Tony Robbins and I created an event and said, we did it. We are an elite 2017 team. I text Kristen, who is one of my personally sponsored coaches who hit diamond this year, and I was like, hey, can you fly out in December or January because I don't want to be the elite celebration without you. And she was like, wait, how do we know? I'm like, it's not set in stone yet, but I know that we're going to do it. And this last week, this last week, well, today's Tuesday. So Monday, between Sunday and Monday, I signed 6 people under my husband's account. I've never built his account before. I've never done anything. I've never got him to Success Club. He's now at Success Club 10. And he has, and I'm at Success Club in my personal account because that's always my number one priority. But he is now a coach and 2 emeralds away from, and my mom is that coach that's going to be signing, which she was going to sign when she was here, but I procrastinated on it and never made it happen. I think that's probably just that there was that little bit of self-doubt of, well, I don't want to have her sign up, and if it's not going to happen, I'll just put her under my account. And I changed my mindset, and I just was like, you know what, I'm not even going to talk about it not happening, and I'm going to work my ass off until it does happen. And if it doesn't, at least I know on December 31st that I can lay my head down and say that as a team we fought for this, because I know who's out there fighting with me. I have a team who is fighting for this with me because they believe in it just as much as I believed in Mindy when she was going for it. So that is, I would say, I've always been a person who fights for what I want, but I don't know that I would have taken it to this extent. I could have still been beating those same 2 people who could be at Diamond if they coughed and working for that. Woo, Melissa, yay! I would probably still be focused on those other 2 people who could be Diamond tomorrow if they wanted to be, but they haven't, and it's been over a year. Instead, I'm not leaving anything to chance, and I'm not leaving our team's future and my team's future or my family's future in the hands of something that I can take control over. So I challenge you all to do the same exact thing. It doesn't matter where you're at right now. Melissa Barker just hit Success Club on the call with us, you guys. Like, literally, if that doesn't inspire you, I don't know what does. And I shared something with my team today and just told them that the difference between successful people and people who are maybe less successful, and I don't want to say unsuccessful, in this business is action. Anybody can sit on a call and we can tell you exactly what to do, how to do it. We can send you all of the videos in the world. We can tell you to get on every national wake-up call. But until you make a decision to get your ass out of that chair and do something about it, and to message those people, then to eat that frog. I had a one-on-one with somebody in my downline today who I've never had a phone call with today. And she was like, thank you so much for giving me this time. I'm like, thank you for wanting the time. Are you kidding me? People don't understand. This is my livelihood. This is my business. If I was the CEO of Apple and I'm not helping the people below me to grow, what kind of leader am I? So it doesn't matter who your sponsor is, whether they're working in the business or not. I mean, if you think about Becky's story, she was on the inside leg of Jason Diebold's dad, okay? So stop telling yourself BS stories and make it happen. Whatever you want to happen, make it happen. And if you don't want this business, that's okay too. If you just want to be surrounded by a bunch of people who are going to love on you and pour positivity out into you, be okay with that. And don't beat yourself up because you're not hitting goals that we are. Just be happy with where you're at and chase the dreams and the goals that are for you, because they're probably not going to be the same as Mindy's or Melissa's or Brandon's or Robin's. They're going to be something completely different. And tonight I posted that Jenna was sick. And one of my girlfriends posted, well, at least you're home with your daughter while she's sick, because her daughter's at sick home. And it was like, fuck yeah, I'm home. You know what? Because I worked my ass off to be here. And I worked my ass off every goddamn day to stay here, to not have to send my child to daycare. Because I think after 2.5 years, people are tired of hearing my story. They forget that I did work for somebody else 16 months ago, that I did have to fight my ass off, that I did have to set goals to get here. I'm no different than every single one of you guys that watch this call or on this call right now. Mindy inspired me, and I moved to action. I did the work that had to be done, and that is exactly what Tony Robbins did. He grew up with an abusive mother who was an alcoholic who beat the shit out of him. And you know what? He pours himself out into other people. and changes their lives. And that's my mission, is to pour myself out into others to change their lives. And in return, my family will have a different life. So from a business perspective.
One thing I wanted to add too is if you guys listen to the National Wake Up Call, that's my coach. I'm always so proud to say that, even after all these years. But if you had have known her, when I met her, she was super shy. Like, we always laugh about how she was texting back and forth, and she said, "Do you want me to call you?" And I was like, "Sure," even though I didn't want her to fucking call me, and she didn't want to call me. And so she was on the National Wake Up Call, and she was telling me that before the National Wake Up Call, she got herself in state. If you didn't go to Tony Robbins, you may not completely understand, but state's like, get up, get moving, change your physiology, change your mindset, change, your everything your body's doing, get out of that, jump up and down, scream, yell, get that energy pump. And she was doing that at her mom's house right before she got in the call. And I just wish all of you that don't know her could have known her in 2012, the first time I met her in September of 2012, because that woman that I heard on that call was nothing like that woman that I met in 2012. And it wasn't even the same woman that I saw at Summit, not this year, but last year, before she hired a life coach and before she attended UPW. So these things, I have watched her go where she hit the million. She's hit the million club. Her income has skyrocketed since she started working with a coach, since she went to UPW and Date with Destiny. All of these things have changed her relationship with her husband, with her kids, with her sister. I'm telling you, this is huge. And everybody who doesn't want to spend this is a business write-off. This is business consultation. And you can never put a price on what money you spend to invest in yourself. Like, this is absolutely just huge what it's done for us. And Robin has just crushed goal after goal after goal after goal. And she was doing her incantations and her affirmations today. She sent it to me. She sent it to the group. So she has accountability. Her, Kristen Thiele, and Melissa Bartow have been running a Cash for Christmas group that I invited Monica to. So Monica joined our team yesterday. And it is because of the stories that these women have the confidence to tell with just utter passion. And so I know that we work together as a team, and that helped bring Monica on. And so this is just another trickle effect of what's happening. Monica also did listen to our first UPW recap call, and she instantly implemented the shake your ass with her kids, and that helps get her day started. So these things that, that we're doing are making a huge effect on people who are just watching us. And I will say that Monica went today, and her first assignment that I had in a group was to I gave a script that Robin actually posted from the 2% group. I personalized it a little bit and then sent it to the group. But Monica went out and she sent it out to 5 people, like within minutes after I challenged her to do it. So I'm seeing that the influence that we guys are having collaboratively is setting in stone and setting the bar high for people. And guess what? Out of all the 5 people that she said, she got 4 yeses and 1, I'm not really sure, but that beats a no. So, I mean, that's huge. I did tell her that doesn't always happen, and that doesn't mean that they're all going to say yes at the end, but that's a great response. And the fact is that she went in and she just did it. She just did it. And I mean, and that's huge. She is a lot like us. She's a blue, and her words of affirmation are her love language. So Melissa, Galme, Robin, you will, we have a lot in common. So anyways, I just wanted to share all of that. It's been a great ride. I just literally can't wait to go in March now. And I want to just enjoy every second of my life, but I wish I could just peer into the future and see what my kids' life are going to be like after all the changes that I've made in 5 years. And the fact that you guys have made a huge, huge, huge impact on my kids, because Rebel asked about all of you guys. I was talking to Lou Nam last night, and he might know who it was. He got on the phone with him, and he told me last night, I think that I know who's on your team. He was like, Chris Stuffield and Charlie and Lou, and even though they're not part of Team Relentless, everybody knows who they are, and they're included. That's huge that he already sees that. He already knows who's part of our family, and he wants to know who's going to be at the event. He asked Lou too, are you going to be at Tony Robbins with us? I mean, so my little kid's a recruiter for good shit. This is just amazing. So anyways, that's all I have. Next week, we have the amazing Amy Silverman on. If you have anybody who is sober, wanting to get sober, that's really what the precedence of the call is because really it's great to appeal to coaches. And everybody's heard Amy Silverman's story, I believe. So, but we're really going to encapsulate on how Beachbody's helped us become sober, because really people need to see that Beachbody is not just about getting healthy and fit or making money, but it can help us get in touch with the changes we need to make. I know Melissa's going to be on, and Candace, who was on the call last week, is going to be on, and we're all sober sisters. So if any of you have anybody who wants to get on and wants to share, I kind of want it to be kind of a share story, but then open conversation so people can give each other the same kind of encouragement and support.
So really quick on that, sorry, I know we could bounce off each other all night, but the other morning I got a call from someone, or a text from someone at like 8 o'clock at night, and I was already asleep. And so I responded in the morning at like 7, and I said, no, I was sleeping. And so then 10 minutes later, my phone rang. Well, this person is very, 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 very dear to my heart, and somebody who has seen me at all stages of my life and seen me fight through my addiction of methamphetamines and go through bad relationships and become a mom and go through issues with my marriage and then struggle with alcohol, and has always kind of been one of those people who's really level-headed. And she confided in me that she needed to talk to me the night before, because she has been inspired over the course of the past 60 some odd days, well, it's now almost 80 days that I haven't drank, and been sharing that she has been struggling with an addiction to prescription pills, and is now, I think today is like 4 days without prescription pills. But I just thought that was really an amazing thing, and I'm hoping that she'll join on the call. She's not a coach. She was briefly, but it's amazing what this opportunity will bring into your life, because this, like I shared on the post yesterday about Mindy, the same inspired me to join her team, because she was a wild party girl, was the same person who made me take a really hard look at the abuse that I was trying to be a helpful guy, share it, use it, of course, as long as you're growing yourself to better it. But it'll be a great call, so definitely excited for that one and to have that person on the call.
Well, it'll be a goodie. Yeah, does anybody have anything that they want to ask? Okay, well, I have 2 extra tickets now, so if anybody in your downline or anybody in the near future wants to purchase one, let me know. That's it. Tell Tom that we love him and that I hope his back feels better, or he gets some surgery soon. So, love you guys. I will see you later.